Those are my confessions, volume 2. Okay, so I confess, yes, I confess. Hey guys, welcome back. I want to say what's up to all my subbies. What's up? And I want to say what's up to all the newbies. That's everybody checking me out for the very first time. Y'all come on in here. Come on in. We're just going to chit chat just for a little bit, okay? And I've got to confess that I've got a couple more confessions to make. If you see my first confessions video, I talk about some things about hair that I might have done, might not have done, may have heard of, may not have heard of. So we're going to do another edition. I got a couple more things to talk about. So we're going to confess. Confessions. Okay, so my first confession is I don't know my porosity. I don't know my hair's porosity. I've never taken a test. When they talk about hair porosity, they're talking about the ability of your hair to absorb and retain moisture. So if you have high porosity, you're able to absorb moisture, okay, more quickly. Okay, its ability to absorb moisture, so you have high porosity. Low porosity means it takes longer, or it may be more difficult for moisture to pass through the cuticle, okay, which is the outermost layer of your hair. It just takes longer for that moisture to actually penetrate, okay? So you have high porosity where it's more easily penetrated as far as moisture. Then you have low porosity, which it may take a little more effort, a little more elbow grease, okay, to get the moisture to penetrate that shaft. And that all has to do with the cuticles, whether they're tight or whether they're a little looser. So higher porosity, they would be a little looser, so it's letting in the moisture more quickly or more efficiently. And low porosity, it's a little tighter. Therefore, it takes a little more effort to get that moisture to sort of get into that shaft. And I don't know my hair's porosity, but just based off of that explanation, I can guess, because I don't have an issue with moisture. When I moisturize my hair, I do use moisturizing products as far as shampoo and conditioner. You guys know that I don't deep condition, but I do use a leave-in conditioner. And I don't have a issue with over dryness to my hair. I don't really have to work to get that moisture in. So I've never really gotten into the whole high, low, normal porosity. I've never taken the test, because there's a test that you can take at home. It's not really, it's not really that involved. With the test, I think the water test, and there may be other tests. Again, I haven't really done any of them, but the most popular one is the water test, where you take a strand of hair and then you put it in a cup or glass of water. If it floats, then it's supposed to be low porosity. So the cuticles are more closed, so it's not really absorbing the water or the moisture. And then if you have high porosity, it's supposed to sink to the bottom. So it's absorbing all that. So it's taking on that weight of that moisture, of that water. And then you can have normal porosity, which, and I think about it, maybe I'm normal. I don't know. But normal sort of is in the middle. Now, this test isn't necessarily 100% foolproof. I've read and seen where people sort of try and debunk that particular test for whatever reason. Okay, but people do still rely on that test to check their porosity. I sort of go old school with it. When you went to the hair, I don't know what they do now, because I haven't been to a hairdresser in years, okay? Because I do my own hair, as we all know. Okay, I'm a kitchen beautician up in here. Okay, but I sort of go with the old school hairdresser sort of scenario, because you used to be able to just go to the hairdresser. They just use the products on your hair. I don't remember any hairdresser doing a porosity test or this type of test or whatever. They may ask you, when was your last relaxer? If you're a new client and things of that sort. But I don't ever remember a hairdresser doing a porosity test before doing their hair. They have their main shampoos and conditioners that they go to. They basically have a core regimen for people when they come in that works for everybody's hair. Okay, low porosity, high porosity, normal porosity. They get consistent results with these particular products. So I sort of lean towards that. Again, I've never done a porosity test, but I just get products that work. And all those who do porosity tests or know their porosity, I think that's great. I think the more knowledge you have on your hair or about your hair, I think is better. I don't think everything is necessary. Okay, so that's my whole point. It's not necessary to know your porosity, but if you do, then I'm sure it is helpful. Okay, I just don't want you to get lost in the sauce and thinking, okay, now I got to find out my hair's porosity in order to treat it right, in order for it to grow, because that's not necessarily the case. If you know your hair's porosity, then I think that's great. And if you don't know, it's okay. Don't panic over porosity. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to find the right products. It's not necessary. It's useful, but it's not necessary to have a great regimen and to get great results. Okay, so I got another confession. I confess. I've heard about pre-pooing, okay? So pre-pooing and getting your hair together as far as before shampooing. That's what pre-pooing is. Pre-pooing, pre-shampoo, okay? Now, I've never, officially done that. Now, the theory behind or the reasoning behind pre-shampooing, okay, is to basically give your hair that extra layer of moisture before you go to shampoo it and strip that away, okay? Because we know that shampoos, they're supposed to clean those oils off of your hair and get it nice and clean and shiny, and so they're doing their part. So pre-pooing basically gives that extra layer before it gets to your hair. It's going to wash away that strip first, okay? Protect that hair first, wash away that strip first, that extra moisture layer, and then get to the hair and get to that and, do its thing. Now, this past, about 2 weeks ago, I forgot to do a leave-in conditioner. I know after I relaxed my hair was extra dry. I could tell the difference, okay? I could tell the difference. So what I did, which I guess can technically qualify for pre-pooing, I took some Vaseline on my dry hair, so as it is now, and I just put Vaseline on my hair, just from root to tip, nothing really extra, but I did that. And then I went to shampoo my hair because it was just so dry. It really was dry. So then I went to shampoo my hair. And then, so like I said, it came out a little softer, okay, because it had that extra barrier. And then I I used my heavier leave-in conditioner, which is what I was supposed to have done the week prior, but I forgot. So my hair was drier. So I guess technically pre-pooed, okay, with Vaseline, but I know that you can pre-poo with conditioner, you can pre-poo with oils, you can pre-poo with just about anything that gives your hair moisture, okay, to sort of act as the barrier before you go to shampoo it. So that's what I did. So I don't, but I do, if that makes any sense. So I do, I guess, pre-poo, or I did. That's a better answer. I did pre-poo my hair a couple of weeks ago, but I normally don't. I have done that in the past where I just put Vaseline on it. So with that being said, pre-poo, all those who pre-poo their hair, I think that's great. Again, if you need that extra moisture, that extra barrier before you actually shampoo it with those cleaning agents, okay? Because you don't want dry on top of dry on top of dry. Meaning if your hair is already dry, then that shampoo is going to do its job and get those, whatever remaining oils are in your dry hair, it's going to strip those remaining oils as well, okay? So that's why a lot of people pre-poo to get some extra oils or moisture barrier on there, so when that shampoo hits and those cleaning agents start to do their thing, it gets that first. Okay, so it takes that layer first. So that's what I did. I guess I pre-pooed my hair with Vaseline about 2 weeks ago. And once I was able to do that, everything, my moisture came back and everything's fine, and I haven't pre-pooed since. So I have pre-pooed, but I don't pre-poo on the regular. I have used it recently as a remedy to the dryness that I was experiencing. And I never really thought about it until I actually did it. And I said, hey, I'm putting Vaseline on my hair before I actually shampoo. I just pre-pooed my hair. Okay, so here's another confession, okay? All right. You know, I'm very heavy on trimming my hair. I got to trim my hair. I got to keep those ends trimmed. To me and for me, that works as far as growing my hair. I've said before, and I will say it again, I don't believe that we should always be in triage mode where you see the split end and then you take care of it. If you can do preventative maintenance on your hair, that is to trim it before you see it, okay, then I think that's great, and at least that works for me, okay? So when I first started getting into trimming, I used to take my hair, I used to get in the mirror, and I have one right over there, but I used to take my hair, and I used to take my time, and I used to pull my hair up to my eyes, pull my hair up in the mirror, and I used to look at it in the mirror and look at every end by end, strand by strand, hair by hair. And I used to go in with my scissors and clip every little end that I saw that was split. And that's how I used to trim my hair. I used to do the big trim, meaning just, bring it down and try and make it even. And then I would go in and hair by hair trim each end. I would do this side and I would just work my way around the back and go on this side, and I would look and I would see it, and I would look at every particular end one by one and trim. I did that for the longest, okay? Obsessed? Yes, I was. I had to get every end. I didn't care how long it took me. I would take my time, stand in the mirror, and basically go after each and every end. Yes, I have not done that in years, okay? Because right now, like I said, my new regimen, I do it every 4 weeks. I think that's enough. If I see something, while I'm combing my hair, or, particularly with my bangs, or maybe around the side, while you're combing, you may see a hair go up and see it, if it's split or whatever. But I haven't purposely gone in and taken section by section and looked at the ends and trimmed them that way. Woo! I used to do that I don't know, but it was often enough. It was often enough, because once I saw the benefits of trimming and my hair started to grow, because I think I told you before, it was like, but then when I started to trim and I immediately saw the benefits in trimming, I was on it. And I was in that mirror doing the trim, let's say every week, just seeking out those different hairs. I don't do that anymore. I let myself off the hook, okay? But that's what I used to do. I used to be very into getting those ends and not letting one end escape me, okay? So that's what I used to do. I guess you can call it a little obsessed, okay? Just a little, okay? I can admit that. Okay, obsessed. We can use that word, obsessed, okay? I'm admitting that, okay? I can admit that. But I'm no longer that way, okay? I have a healthy regimen, and I have a healthy relationship with my ends right now, okay? Very healthy. I do not seek them out like that anymore every week. I don't. I don't. Okay, so this next one, have you guys, now this is for the girls who have been relaxed for years. I'm not talking about you guys, the newbies that have just relaxed their hair, because you already know the answer to this. But for all those who have been relaxed for years and years and years and years, like me, have you ever wondered what your natural hair looks like? I mean, you have an idea, Of course, you have pictures from when you were a kid, you can sort of look and whatever. And of course, when your hair grows in, you get that new growth and you get the little crinkles and the little curls coming in, gives you an indication, okay? But do you remember what your natural hair looks and feels like? Because I don't. I don't. I tried to remember and I tried to really think. And like I said, I can sort of gauge how my hair looks as far as the roots, but I get curious sometimes as far as, I wonder what my natural hair looks like. You know what I mean? Like what the pattern really is and how it really is, how full, how big, crinkly, curly, kinky, corkscrewy, I can sort of tell, but it'd be nice to see. You know what I like? You know what I would like? I wish you could, and this isn't me regretting relaxing my hair, because I love my relaxed hair. Okay. So we're not talking about regrets or anything like that. Just curiosity. You know what I mean? And again, those who have just relaxed their hair or they're newbies, they already know what their hair looks like. They've been, doing that and, dealing with it and really have their hands in it. And so they already know the answer to that. But for all those who have been relaxed for years, like I said, I don't know. Do you ever wonder what your natural hair looks like? And it would be nice just to go natural just for a day without having to cut your hair, without having just some type of potion or whatever to just poof it on your hair. Go poof. You're natural for a day. It's like, oh, okay, this is what my natural hair does. This is what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to braid it up or I'm wearing an afro. Okay, I'm done. Boop, back to relax. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not speaking from a perspective of remorse or any type of regret. There's no relaxer regret or anything like that. Just curiosity. That's all. Just curiosity. Sometimes I just wonder what my hair looks like. I remember what my mom said. Oh, your hair is this and it was wavy and it da da da. You're just like, because I don't remember. I really don't remember. I can look at old pictures and I see, and I know that my hair is thick. I know that my hair is thick, it's very thick, thick. But yeah, I just think that would be cool. That's all. I just think that would be cool. And sometimes it hits me in the head and in my mind. I'm just like, I wonder what. Ooh. But I'm not trying to, I like my relaxed hair. I love my hair, period. Okay. I love my hair. It'd just be cool to go back and forth. I just wanted to put that out there. Sometimes I do wonder, what would my natural hair look like? What kind of styles? Would I be a wash and go girl? Or would I be a braid out girl? Even though you can do braid outs, with relaxed hair. What kind of products would I be doing? Would I be moisturizing and sealing? And would I be using this type of product and Jerry Curl juice and all this other stuff that you see naturals talk about? So I would just want, now one thing I do know, that if I were natural, I'd have color all day. Girl, I would have color all day. I would play around with color all day long. You take that relaxer out of it, meaning if I were natural, so I didn't have that chemical, thing going on. If I didn't already have a chemical in my hair, because you have to be careful when you add more chemicals to your hair. So if you're already relaxed and you have a chemical and you go for color, you really should get a professional, because that's that's territory that you don't really want to mess around with, okay, as far as your hair and adding more chemicals and more chemicals. But when you're natural, you can use color all day. And I always said that if I were to go natural, I would have pink hair. I would go blonde, okay? I would really go for it. I would definitely go for it. So that I will say, if I were natural, I would definitely put color in my hair. Oh, I would be a different color like every other 6 weeks or something like that. So that I would definitely do. So sometimes I do wonder, what does my natural hair look like? Okay, so now for this other confession, this last confession that, yes, I'm going to confess to because this is all about confession. So I'm going to confess. Okay. My last video where I did the clip-ins, was so much fun. And I did this and, I bumped it a little bit and I did a little flip and we had two little, personalities come out and so forth and so on. Well, I used the clip-ins and then I trimmed them. I wanted to trim them to my hair and then style it so that it looked flawless and seamless and all blendy blend. Okay. So, when I was trimming the clip-ins, I accidentally trimmed my hair. Yes, I cut my hair. When I was doing this side and I said, let me cut this for you guys. And I went clip, I clipped my own hair. Yes. But it's okay. It's okay. It wasn't a big chunk, but I noticed it not only when I clipped it, and I got a little nervous. I said, hey, did I just cut my own hair here? But after I took the clip-ins out, I said, hey, I really did cut my own hair. So I did cut my hair, but it was very small. Okay, so it was very small. I'm looking at the mirror, but it was very small. And I was able to trim it and make sure that everything was level. But all is not lost. We are okay. Dolce still has hair and everything is fine. And I still have a happy ending to the clip-ins. In fact, I'm going to do some more styles. I told you that was my first time getting my hands into them, really getting into it and playing around with it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up with a couple more things. But yes, that is another confession of mine. Yes, I confess. I cut my own hair. But that's okay. You can't even tell. Can't even tell. If I didn't even say anything, y'all wouldn't even know. Y'all be like, yep, y'all can't even tell. Look, can't tell, can you? Look, can't tell. All right, everything's fine. Everything's the same. Okay, so that wasn't too bad, right? We weren't in and out, okay? So, thank you so much for dialing in and showing up. I really do appreciate it. I do. We'll be back talking about some more stuff, okay? So you make sure you come on back because you already know. It's going to be the same Dolce dial. It's going to be the same Dolce channel. So you come on back. All right. So those are my confessions, volume 2.